Hello my friends, it's Andre here again. Let me just turn down the video. It's been a long time, it's been such a long time since last stream. Sorry for the delay in starting the stream. Actually, you know, after I guess 3 or 4 weeks of not streaming, I totally forgot how to set everything up and all the things with the green screen and everything. So sorry for the little delay. Maybe I'll just slide out of the screen for a few times. But everything will get better. Next week I'll try to create some of the new visuals as well. We'll see if there's gonna be time. But for today, this is gonna be hopefully a short stream, guys. Today the topic is for how can we host Jamstack sites on Cloudflare. Now I hope you all had a great Christmas. That the vacation was long enough so that you could get some rest, and that you are happy back to work now. It's already been 2 weeks, guys. 2 weeks of working in the new year, and it's time flies really quickly. 2 weeks of work already passed us. Now we have the stream. We're gonna look at Cloudflare, and tomorrow's Friday. It's gonna be weekend again. So hopefully you're having a good time. I am right after the stream. I'm having another meeting with our MVPs. And that's always a nice dot, after a working week. But let's get back to Cloudflare. Now, as you probably know, I think I read it in a December email or somewhere around December that Cloudflare is starting to offer hosting services for Jamstack. Together with the additional things like serverless functions and so on. Now, there was one thing. It all seemed like a clone of Netlify's offering, right? Which is good. The competition is always good in pretty much anything. So this was really interesting to me. Now I know that Cloudflare, you've seen Cloudflare a lot of times on pretty much any site that had a lot of traffic because they provided services to avoid DDoS attacks and so on. So if you haven't, if you weren't really familiar with what Cloudflare does, that's one of the things. So I was really amazed that they want to go this direction. So they see a potential here, obviously, like it's the thing of Jamstack. Everything is pretty much free. So hopefully this is going to be a good offering. I already tried it for serverless functions. I tried their CLI. It wasn't the best experience, but it might be just because I'm spoiled from other offerings, But today, what I want to show you guys is this is a Scali Starter Content Lumen. Hopefully, you can see the screen here. This is a GitHub repository. It's completely public, so you can go ahead and try it out too. I'm gonna send the link to the chat window. Now, this is a Scali sample or Angular sample, Angular single page application that is using Scali. Scali is a static site generator for Angular. I guess we have a live demo here. Hopefully this is still working. This is on Netlify. Here we go. Now this works well. So this is actually app built with Angular. There's Scali for static site pre-generation, but Scali works a bit differently than Gatsby, Next, and other static site generators. As with Gatsby, you use React as its framework, but the output of the output of Gatsby, whatever you are deploying to Netlify to any other host, is the static files plus some kind of bundle, and that bundle is generated by Gatsby. With Angular and Scali, it works completely differently. Like the Angular SPA is something that you need to have, and Scali runs on top of that and hits every single page from the SPA and tries to pre-generate it. So it works a bit differently. And it also, I do remember that there were some additional requirements in case of configs, and it might be a bit more tricky to configure this. I don't even remember how I did it on Netlify, but we will take a look if we can't do this well on Cloudflare. So this is the sample site. Now I'm gonna start with. I'm just gonna create here a new. Or I can just do it here. Scali Starter. I don't have it here yet, so let me just clone it. So I'm gonna clone this here. Let's clone it into this folder. Perfect. Here we go. I'm doing it. Well, I don't really have to do that. I guess Cloudflare will be able to get it from GitHub automatically. But in case we need to open it in Visual Studio Code, we have it here. Now this should be fully working. Yeah, I think that there is in source environments there should be environment production file, and here we should see the delivery project ID. Perfect. So this is working. We are good here. So let's open Cloudflare. Now I hope that I'm just gonna open it in a next window because I don't know if I'm already logged in there, or I can yeah, I'm not logged in. Okay, so Cloudflare, here we go. Let's log in. Ooh, okay, I don't remember. Okay, but I have LastPass, and LastPass remembers, so I'm just gonna fill these details. Just give me a second. Oops, didn't work. Oh, I forgot about CAPTCHA. So just another second, please. Okay, I'm not kidding. It needs me to click each image containing a car. So I'm not trying to stall you, but I'm just clicking on cars here. All right. But I am human. I'm not a robot. All right. Remember me. Here we go. No? It didn't. Okay, how come I can't log in? Okay, just give me a second. I think I used this. Maybe I'm using a wrong URL here. Okay, maybe that was the problem. But I would guess I already, I was already there. I was trying just serverless functions last week. Let me see. I'm just gonna try to open my email to see. Cloudflare. Okay, dash.cloudflare.com. I should be there. Getting started with Cloudflare workers. Yeah. So why isn't it letting me in? Maybe I'll need to reset my password. Just a second. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna reset my password, guys. Okay, just give me a second. I'm just gonna have to wait for a reset code. I don't know what's happening here. So I'm using LastPass, to handle all my passwords, but for some reason it's not working. And now I'm not getting. Oh, come on, why am I not getting the password? Maybe I'm using a wrong email. Let me fix that. I'm gonna try another email address, yeah? Wow. Okay, again, now I'm selecting trucks, guys. I'm selecting trucks here. Is this a truck? No, it looks like a bus. Okay, I'm gonna select a few trucks here. Yeah. No. Okay, now I finally got the reset code. Okay, let me just reset the code. Reset the password. Okay. So now it should work. Okay, now we're selecting boats. Okay. Now this is already fun. Okay, so this is boat. No? There was another one. Okay, motorcycles. Okay. There we go. All right. This link is not valid. Okay, so here we are. Here we are. We can see the workers here, which is nice. Yeah. So we can use the serverless functions, but I'm not sure. So this is called Cloudflare pages. Yeah. And Cloudflare pages, I'm not sure if I actually need this or I can, just create a site here. So if I need to request beta access here and actually wait for them to do something, okay, maybe that's the case. All right. In that case, we probably won't be able to do anything. I'm just going to try to add site here. All right. So let's call this site. Okay, it requires me to enter. So let's say scully-starter.com. Okay, so it requires me to do a domain. Okay, let's do my own personal site. But I guess that's a different service, right? Okay, yeah, that's a different service, guys. All right, so maybe, okay, so then it means I have to request the access here. Okay, I'm just gonna put this here. What is your use case? Jamstack. Okay, let's see what's gonna happen here. Please wait, I'm waiting. Oh man, okay, so someone from Cloudflare will be in touch with you shortly. All right, so they actually need me to submit this form and then wait for them to come back to me. Otherwise, I cannot do the site here. So if I do add site, this is still the same thing. All right, so I thought that it will be just another menu item here, just like we have workers here. But it seems like the Cloudflare pages actually require a special access to that features. Okay, so I guess we won't be able to do that today because if I don't have access, I can't really add the site here. So what we actually can do though is okay. So that's another use case, right? But that's another use case I wanted to do with Cloudflare, and that's Cloudflare workers. Now, Cloudflare workers are pretty much the same thing as Netlify functions. And if you haven't seen Netlify functions yet, let me show you that here. I think I have some on my Netlify account. Let me just move this away. Where do we have that? So these are sites. Yeah, some sites are here actually. So this is one of my sites on Netlify. Oh, there are no sites here. Background functions, no. Okay, let's see. I'm sure that some of my site have functions enabled. I thought that this one had some, but it seems like this is just a normal. No, this one doesn't have them. Okay, now I know which one does have that. Show me all the sites. There's supposed to be my wedding site that definitely has some functions. It doesn't? Oh, come on, this is weird. Okay, never mind. We're not gonna go into Netlify, but what I wanna try today then is work with Cloudflare and Cloudflare functions, or workers as they call it. Yeah. Now we can run JavaScript. I tried it last time to create a worker. You see that the worker, if we create it this way, is very similar to Netlify or anything else. You see it also opens a console here. And when we try to do this, run this one, I get the hello world back. Yeah. And my use case is for what I was trying to do last week actually. Let me make this a bit. Okay, I'm just gonna use a normal notepad because I have too many things open there. Okay, so what I wanted to do last week was create a serverless function that was receiving documents from a headless CMS. Yeah, let me show you what was the use case. I'm going to open the headless CMS so that you can see it. It's actually a new system of submitting activities for our MVPs. I'm going to show you that in a second. I'm just going to switch to another project in my subscription. Okay, here we go. So this is a project in headless CMS Kiniko content, and if we look at workflows, now obviously what I want to do is when someone enters an activity, I want to trigger a webhook that goes into a serverless function. In this case, it's going to be the Cloudflare worker. And that serverless function actually needs to decide what's going to happen with that specific content item. First of all, it can go from draft to process. When this transition happens, the process is just a special workflow step for the Cloudflare worker. And then it can move the content item from from process to waiting for evaluation or waiting for approval, depending on what the action is going to be. So what I'm going to have to do on the Cloudflare worker side is receive the webhook, and based on okay, let's take a look at this thing at activity content type. So based on the activity type, I would transition to either one or the second workflow step. Yeah. So when we go to process, this should trigger a webhook that goes into the service worker, and then it goes back to one of these two steps. So first of all, what I can do is create a new webhook, and let's call the webhook process. URL address is going to be the one from Cloudflare, I guess. Secret, yeah, this is now public, so I'm gonna have to use the secret here. I'm gonna regenerate it later. Unfortunately, I have to. So now I'm gonna have to choose. Okay, so here we go. Transition to specific workflow step to watch. So we wanna watch the transition to the process workflow step. Yeah, whenever I create a content item and change the workflow step to process, that's the moment when I want the webhook to be triggered. So that's exactly what I'm defining here. Content item events to watch. No, none of these. Deliver API. Okay, we don't care about those two, and we don't care about taxonomy as well. So only the process is going to be a trigger. Now, whenever I move an item from that draft to process, so we got draft and we've got process here. Whenever I do that, it's going to fire a webhook notification to Cloudflare, to here, to this this worker. And we're obviously going to have to respond to that worker, to that request, right? Now, there are two parts for every worker. First of them is add event listener. So this is just some kind of like a service call. And everything that we need to do is happening here. So return new response, hello world. Kiniko content doesn't really care about what you return as a response as long as there is a 200 HTTP status code. Yeah. So if I just leave it like this, yeah, it always returns hello world, and we go back here and we take the item. I'm gonna move it back to draft. I cannot do it here. I've created the workflow. Change workflow. Yeah. Okay, let's publish that. Yeah. Okay, let's make this an article. Rating 10. Okay, publish. Yeah. Yeah, publish it. Now I want to go back into draft. Okay, here we go. We are in draft. And now what I can finally do is I can move to process, yeah? So when I do this now, we're not going to see anything. The only thing that we're going to see is on the worker, we should see that there are requests today, right? So we're definitely going to see one, or we should see one request today here. So I'm going to change the workflow. It could take a few moments for that webhook to be triggered. But what we can do here is we can take a look at, we can take a look at here under debug. We should see all the webhooks that will be triggered. Now this could take a moment though. Ready for message. Okay, do I have? Yeah, let me activate. Okay, maybe the problem was that I didn't have the management API activated. Failing. All right, let me see what's failing here. Failed, first attempt. Why did it fail? Original connection timeout. But we are getting a Cloudflare message. All right, it's gonna try to do it again, I guess in like a minute or so. But let's see what's actually happening there. Maybe this is a, not sure this, I think this is a post request. Maybe I have that defined as a get only. Let me see. Oh, did I not save that worker? Oh, deploy to go live. Okay. This worker will be available. All right. How do we deploy that thing here? Save and deploy. Okay, here we go. Yes. And we're going to need that to be post. Restless art. Okay, it stays the same. That's cool. Okay, it's saved. So let me just switch the URL here. So I'm going to change the webhook. Still red. Okay, so it's going to be restless art now. Let's save that. And let's go through all of that again, guys. I'm going to change the workflow. Okay, I'm just going to, you know, for the purpose of this stream, I'm going to add here that we can go from process to draft as well. Yeah, so we don't have to go through the whole process. I cannot save project workflow. Confirm changes to the workflow step first. Okay. Let's go back to content, and I'm gonna move that from process to draft. There we go. Okay, now we're on draft, so I can change the workflow back to process. This is the only transition I can do. And now it should fire a webhook to my function. And you see this is green. Okay, let's take a look at the debugging. So 200 delivered, this was perfectly fine. Yeah. So it responded with 200. That means that this worker is working at this point. Now, what we can do is we can do some stuff here. We can also check how does this message look like. Yeah, this is actually what's okay. I can copy that, put it here. This is what travels from Kentico content to Cloudflare. So you see that there are some data. There are some data about the item that I'm processing, and there is a message. Yeah, message tells me what's happening. Now, in my case, the webhook is triggered only in one case. Yeah, in case I moved from draft to process. So in that case, I don't really care about the message. I don't really care about these IDs from which to which step we're transitioning. So this is related to workflow. The only thing I'm caring about is the item ID. This is the only thing. Yeah, nothing else concerns me. So what I can do is check here. Oh, I can actually specify here. So we don't have to simulate the CMS. I can just take this, put it to body here, and add a header, I guess. Well, let's see if this works just like that. I'm just gonna console log here the request and send it. Let's see. Script modified, content reset, nothing. Okay, save and deploy, yeah. Okay, here we go. There's the request. And here we go, body. In body, we have readable stream. Not what I'm looking for. Get locked. How do we see the data in the request? Event.request. This is fine. Get body. So maybe we need a header content type. Yeah, this is text plain. What is the content type for JSON? Content type JSON header. Application/JSON. Okay. Content type application/JSON. What's this to say? Maybe readable stream. Yeah, maybe we need to await this. Let's Google for maybe Cloudflare has something. Cloudflare workers process JSON. There we go. Post request JSON data. Gather response. Handler request. All right, here we go. Oh, wait, fish. Now this is the other way around. Let's see if there are any more interesting examples. Return JSON, return HTML. Nope. But here's the event const data. Respond with fetch HTML, fetch JSON, no. Cloudflare object, no, that's not what I want. Wow, there's a lot of examples, but none of which is getting anything from the request. Post JSON, read post, okay, here we go. Raw HTML response, headers, all right. Serve HTML form, then read post requests. Let's see. Okay, const headers equals request. So here we're getting form data. Request.json. All right, so this is probably what I want. We don't want the stringify, but we want the request.json, probably. Let equals request.json. Guess we are in async, so we can await this and then log it. Waiting for this to be saved. There we go. Okay, now we got the data here. Data, items, array 1, message ID, project ID, blah, blah, blah. We don't really care about those, but we do care about the item ID. So that would be data.items. The first item, so there can be multiple, right? I don't really like this, but what we can do, we can create here a new async function called process item. We can get the item ID. Process item. And what we can do is do this for every item here. So data.items should be array. So we can say for or data items for each. Is this correct, or for each? And we can do, oh, we don't even need this. We can do process item dot ID. Okay, now we don't need the logs, and we can return response. Okay, with status 200. And here, let's just do console log item ID. Let's see if we can get this working. Oops. Cannot read property for each of undefined. How come data? Okay, let me log this again. How come data items are undefined? Data. Oh, is it another data? Okay, my mistake. Sorry for that. Data dot items, because I named this variable data, so this should be let's call this JSON. Can do it this way. All right, let's see. Undefined, nice. But at least something's happening, right? So we are here for each item. We are processing this. So item.id seems to be empty. Okay, so item, it's this thing. Yeah, I probably need to go one item further. So the item is the name of this object, right? But it already has a property called item, and then we need to go one level down. So it will be item.item.id to make it correct. So let's run it now. Okay, here we go. So you see, this is the ID of the content item that I moved. Now let's check B09F1. So if we go back here into the content items and look here, so it's B09F1, right? So we know that this is the right item. Now what we can do is, we obviously don't have any additional data right here. So what we can do is, and that would be interesting, how do we install stuff here? So how do I install things into the workers? So let's try to Google for that. Google Cloudflare workers npm package. Cloudflare workers npm. No, not what I want. Install package. Cloudflare workers docs. Okay, let's see. Install. Okay, this is the CLI. Not what I want to do. npm blah blah blah. No, not what I want to do. Is that not possible? That would be weird. Okay, we got fetch. Okay, let me see. So how do I know, like, what is installed and what isn't? Workers playground, how workers work, pricing reference, limits. Okay, so if I cannot install stuff here, that's a big limitation. Because on Netlify I can do that. But okay, let's see. So we want to fetch JSON, right? So what we can do is, I can just show you guys how to do this. So let's say this already has, so this one is in process, but it already has a version published, right? But I actually need, I'm gonna need the management API to do so. Because right now, when I, so it's possible to, if you take the ID of the project, right? If we go here to the project, now we need to do actually, need to do deliver.content AI / the ID of the project / items. We're gonna get all the items in the project, and one of them, the only published, is actually the test. So we can filter this by ID, right? We can do like system.id equals this or something like that. Yeah. So we can filter this out. Yeah. But the thing is that I'm only getting the last published version of the item here. So I'm not getting the new data, the change data. And even if this was never published, I would never get the item. Yeah. It would tell me 404. Like if I add here another GUID, you see this is completely empty. So there are no items like that. So we're gonna need to use a management API to get the draft version of this. And the problem is, if you look at content docs, we can do that with simple fetch, but I'm looking for API reference, management API version 2, and we want content item. And in the content item, we obviously need to use the bearer token. And we need, no, I wanted to do the content item. We need to list content items, or no, retriever content item. That's what I need. Okay, so do you see the easiest thing is to import management client from Kentico content management. But okay, let's try to do that actually. Maybe Cloudflare is that good that it would download it automatically, but I don't think so. Oh, where are we? Here. No, that's GitHub. Here. Okay. So I'm just gonna try this, yeah? Let's see what this is gonna do. Yeah, cannot use import statement outside a module. So no, I cannot do this. Wow, okay. So I'm gonna have to do a simple fetch request. And for that thing, if you look at my personal site at Fetch API cheat sheet, you're gonna find a nice cheat sheet for fetch. So right now, I don't have to Google for anything. I'm just gonna look at what I need. So I need fetch. I need fetch with bearer token. And there are some path parameters, but I'm just gonna put them into the URL. And I need, not JavaScript, just REST. There we go. And I'm gonna need this exact thing. This is gonna be the URL. So the only thing is header, nothing else, right? So I'm just gonna go back here. No, not there. Oh man, I have so many windows open. Where are we? Okay, we are here. So we want to go there and take a look at, we're looking to do a get, as we're not sending any data. So in order to get, we need a bearer token and we need JSON. So authorization token plus query string data. Yes, but we need to process the response. Okay, so let's do authorization token with query string data. So that's this thing. So I'm just gonna copy paste this. Let's keep this here. Processing item. So that we have some feedback. And the URL was into documentation, so I'm just going to switch there and take this. Now here goes the project ID. So I'm going to take it from here. Maybe we could put it here. Okay, let me make this a bit easier. Okay, so the project ID is going to come from the variable now, content project ID / items, and this is the item ID, right? So we're just going to put it here, item ID. Perfect. Then we need to provide the header and the bearer token, right? So I'm just going to switch back into content and provide the management API token. Okay, this is way too long, so don't bother copying that. I'm just gonna regenerate it after the stream, yeah? Perfect, so instead of the token here, I'm just gonna put the token there. So let's do the same. API token. Oh, why can't I do that? Oh, my mistake, here we go. API token, perfect. And then when the response arrives, what we want to do is we want to process that JSON, because we also want to get, so what we want to get is the type, right? So here you see we are looking at activity type, and that's going to be the deciding factor, right? So let's see what is the code name of that. Activity type. Code name of that is activity types. Wow. Why is there a plural? I'm just going to change that. This is going to be activity type. Okay. So we definitely want to process the data. Oh, wrong window. Okay, here we go. We want to process the JSON first, yeah? So I'm just going to go back into the cheat sheet. By the way, I'm just going to send the link to the chat window. And when processing response, we're looking for getting JSON data. And we are using async await. Yeah, so response is await fetch. And then we just await the response.json. That's the only thing we need to do. So I'm going to do the same here. So let response equals this. We're not going to use it this way. We're going to see let item object equals await response.json. And then we can say the activity type. We can of course check if the response was 200. If response dot, I think this is in the cheat sheet as well. Checking status code, right? So response, we await that fetch and the response.status. So here we're missing one await. And if response.status equals 200 or does not equal 200, then we return there is not much for us to do and that item won't be processed. But if this is 200, then we get the data. Await response JSON, so activity type should be item object. Or you know what, let's see. Let's do console log. Item object. And let's save this. We haven't saved this for a long time, so let's see. What's this gonna do? Okay, now let's send this. Okay, we got into processing item and nothing else happened. Okay, let's do a console log response. Processing item and nothing else. Why don't we see anything else? The item ID is correct. Await fetch. Oh, okay, because we're not waiting for this. So let's say await. After argument, okay, what's the problem here? Okay, maybe we need to do this. What's wrong? Await is only valid in async functions and the top level bodies of modules. Oh, he doesn't like this. Okay. Can we do it this way? Async item. And here say await. Haven't done this. Syntax error missing at line 14. How do we do? Okay, JavaScript async for each. Okay, we don't do await here, but we do async and that. Okay, so we don't do this, but we do async item. Okay, still doesn't like it. This is closed, this is fine. What's there not to like? Okay, let me do a quick fix here. Equals await process item JSON data items 0.item.id. So this should work too, right? Oh. Okay, here we go. So we got the response here. But we probably want to get response.json. So I'm going to tune the for each later, but right now I want to see the response here. Okay, now here we go. So we got the ID and collection type, code name is tests. Okay, so we got the data here. We got the type, but we didn't get any elements. Let's see if that's according to the documentation. Retrieve a content item. Oh, okay, we need to retrieve a language variant of an item. Item identifier variants. Okay, yeah, so the problem is that right now here in content we have multiple variants, right? No, don't need that. So here I'm only using English variant, but the problem is that there can be many language variants, and we just now got only the container for the item. The next thing we need to do is select the language variant of this content item, and then get the data for that language variant, which will give me the activity type. Yeah, that's because there can be multiple languages, and every language can have different set of fields selected. So probably I'm gonna have to fix that and get a language variant. So item identifier, yeah, that can be the same. So slash variants, which will give me the variants of the item. But we can actually get a specific, oh, come on, hide it. But we can get the specific language variant directly. So here we go. Yeah, so /variance / language identifier. So the only thing we need to do is do here /variance / variant identifier or language identifier. And in my case, the language identifier will be quite easy because I'm using only one language. That's the default language. So the default code name should do. The language identifier, if we look at here on the right, can be /codename / the name. So I'm just going to do /codename / default. That should do the trick. /codename / default. Let's see. Here we go. All right, so we got the elements. Now, what we are interested in are elements, and we are interested in element. Oh, we don't even get the names of those elements here. Element ID, value, nothing. Okay, how do we get the element here? So we probably need to get the ID of the element. Because right now we're using the simple fetch API and we're only getting IDs of those elements, right? So let's take a look at the content type. We're looking at activity and the ID of activity type. This is actually a taxonomy, so this is going to be even a bit more complicated. And we are looking at, can we get the ID of this one? I don't think so. I only get, yeah. We don't get this. So this is going to be a taxonomy element. So we know, okay, so how do we do that? So we only get a language variant, element ID value. Yeah, so what we can do is maybe it's coming from the type here, but it doesn't seem so. Yeah, so what I probably need to do is get the content type and see all those elements and get by the name of the element. I could get the ID of the taxonomy field, and based on that, get the right activity type. But of course, this is much more complicated than just using the management API. Yeah. So take this. Well, this is now working. Yeah, we are getting the data here. We are getting the data. We are getting the elements. But of course, we're using the simple fetch API, which is not really the ideal situation. Ideally, we would get the SDK. And with the SDK, it's just a matter of 3 calls, you know. So let me stop this right here. I'm going to try to figure out a better way how to get the management API SDK here in the Cloudflare. If it doesn't work like that, I guess I'm just going to be switching back to Netlify because it just isn't worth all the hassle here. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll try to get the beta access to the pages. We're gonna then see how we can host the Jamstack sites there. I assume it's gonna be easy, yeah, but we'll see. I thought that this was gonna be an automatic process, not something that I have to wait for them to get back to me. So sorry, I couldn't show you that today. But as soon as I have access to that, I'll repeat the stream, yeah. So thanks for watching. Get in touch with me if you have any comments or any suggestions for future topics. And I wish you a great weekend, and I'll see you next Thursday. All right, so at 3 p.m. GMT, I'll be back here. I'll be looking forward to see you guys. Bye.